Thank you very much. I'm going to put my timer down because there's no way I can speak for 7 minutes alone. But that's my story, isn't it? And it's not true. I will now do it. There you go. This will be 7 minutes. I don't need no introduction because that was a fabulous introduction. Thank you very much. I want to talk about the power of stories. So, Rise Up has been working all over the country for the past 10 years, mainly in prisons. And we teach mindset techniques through the arts. We do a 12-session program teaching mindset techniques through the arts. And if you come to a Rise Up program, and hopefully you will one day, the first thing you will learn in workshop number 1 is how to control, how to take ownership of your own story. Stories are incredibly powerful. We all have a story. So I'm going to start by telling you a story about a guy called Gary. Gary came from a poor, working-class northern family. He didn't do very well at school. He left school. He went into menial labour. He was very close to his brother when he was in his early 20s. His brother was in a car accident and he sadly passed away. Gary had no one to talk to. He started drinking more. He started taking drugs, and drug addiction led him into crime. By the time I met Gary, he was about 60-odd years old, and he'd been in and out of prison for the past nearly 40 years. That was Gary's lifestyle. He came to our programme teaching mindset through the arts, and he sat there looking not that engaged, doing drama and poetry and crafts. A lot of people think a programme like ours must be for young black guys who want to come and do some spoken word or some rap. We have all kinds of people in our programme. But Gary didn't seem that engaged until about session 10. We were all sat round in a circle discussing the stuff that we'd been learning. And Gary suddenly stood up looking a bit angry. He thought, this is it. He's going to walk out. He's had enough of this airy, fairy, wishy-washy nonsense. He's going to leave the room. And he said, that's it, I've had enough. It's like, okay, Gary, speak, you know. He said, I've had enough of being a weird old man who's always in and out of prison. He said, I just want to be a dad and a granddad. And we were like, oh, yeah, man. Do that, Gary. So Gary left prison about a year later. I know Gary doesn't mind me telling this story because I've asked him numerous times. I'm still in touch with Gary. That was about 8-9 years ago. That was one of our first programmes in HMP Risley. Gary left prison and he hasn't been back since. He had to leave some old friends behind. He was eventually asked to work as a mentor for the probation service. I'm still in regular contact with him, and yes, he does now see his daughter and has regular contact with his grandchildren and is very happy and contacts me regularly to tell him how Rise Up changed his life. Everybody say Rise Up. Rise Up. Indeed. Gary actually wrote on a feedback form at the end of the programme, I now find myself as a work in progress. As before the Rise Up course, I thought I was a bit of a lost cause. I never thought my ideals and ideas could change so radically, but in a great way, for the change doesn't frighten me now. And he wrote that, but that's exactly his words. So I could have told you all kinds of stats and facts about the over 1,000 prisoners we've worked with over the years. We have recorded the qualitative and quantitative data from every single programme we've ever done, and I could tell you all the stats and facts, but that wouldn't be as powerful as a story, would it? Because stories are much more powerful, and we all have a story. Gary had a story. Gary's story was working class people's struggle. Gary was inculcated with this story as a child, a story of people like us, we just get on with it. Geezers, blokes, working class geezers, when stuff happens we hold our own water. That's the story Gary was told. He was not told the story of his own worth, his own resilience and his own power to overcome, power to achieve whatever he wants to achieve and change the world in whichever way he sees fit. That's not the story Gary was inculcated with. And you've got a story, you've got a story, I've got a story, we've all got a story, and it's unconscious. We don't consciously, cognitively react to the world saying, this is what I was told as a child, this is how I will be. It's unconscious, but we are reacting to the world based on our stories. And Gary's story, much like the way that I often tell my story in such events, My story of ADHD and racism and police harassment and having a lengthy criminal record, never having read the books till I was 21, and now being a published author with a PhD and going all around the country and teaching people this great stuff, blah, blah, blah. That's the same story as Star Wars, the same story as Frozen, Lord of the Rings, Moana. It's the same story. It goes like this. I'm going to try and cover this in 52 seconds for you. It goes like this. Every one of those films, those great Disney films, Hollywood films, the Greek myths, which come from the Egyptian myths, thousands of years of telling these stories. It goes like this. Number one, there's a hero, but the hero's at home and something's wrong at home. Number two, the call to adventure comes and the hero says, number three, no, I'm not going to go on the adventure because I'm scared. Or society tries to hold them back, like Harry Potter's auntie and uncle hiding the letters, or Luke Skywalker's auntie and uncle saying no, or Moana's dad saying you can't cross the horizon. Society holds them back, or fear holds them back. Number four, they meet a mentor. The mentor says, it's okay, take my hand. We will cross the threshold together. We will leave the ordinary world behind. We will step into the world of the adventure, the deep, dark forest. Everything changes. Foes become friends, friends become foes. They prepare for the big battle ahead. During the battle, there will be death, but there will be rebirth. Now, the hero will survive death and rebirth. They can seize the sword, take that power back home, and change the world, make the world a better place, even save the universe. That's the story. A story of how to overcome past setbacks, how to leave the society that inculcated you in the first place and self-individuate, so that you may go back a self-actualised person and change that very society that you had to leave in the first place. When you know the power of a story, you know the power to overcome the power of society, to inculcate you with what becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And you may decide what your story is, and you may decide what your prophecy is, nobody else. That's the power of a story. We teach this in 12 workshops through the arts on the Rise Up course, and we have changed countless lives. Everybody say, rise up!
Rise up!
Say it like you mean that. Was quite a powerful talk, man. Everybody say, rise up!